speed up your mechanics, Blair Walsh's plant foot was about 6.5 inches in further than where it should be. The mechanics were completely messed up. Seattle knew that they were in the heads of that kicker. They never even rushed. All they did was stand up and watch the field goal get missed. That's all they had to do. Because they knew that the mechanics...
This is a lot of conjecture on your part.
Well, they had already come up with the press conference. They said, we did not want to risk the chance of being offside, so we weren't going to rush to kick. All we just did, because they almost said that last one with Richard Sherman was very close. Okay, I get it. So Richard Sherman just stands there. The kick is up, and it's wide left. Why? Because they panicked. Minnesota panicked. They saw that Richard Sherman and the Seahawks defense were getting closer and closer to blocking that kick, and they know that Pete Carroll always has something special. His something special was to simply sit there and let Minnesota implode. Now,
that was brutal.
I understand luck had something to do with it, because even at that close, it takes a little bit of extra luck.
The refs also gave him a couple good calls.
Yes, they did.
They love Seattle.
Well, no, the Cam Chancellor call, that shouldn't have even happened. Cam Chancellor did not pass interfere Kyle Rudolph on that first play. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
It took a little luck for Minnesota to even get there, but then when they got there, it took a little luck for them to miss that field goal, which they did. They missed the field goal. And
that's Minnesota's fault. I mean, all the way, yeah. And to be honest, the best thing happened here. Did anyone really think Minnesota was going to go on after playing like this and have Minnesota going into Carolina would have been a rout.
Yes. Oh, completely. It would have been an ugly situation. It's not what anybody wanted. But because I enjoy rubbing some things in, and Javi decided to switch his vote on Thursday night when we discussed this. I went ahead and I secretly laid a microphone in Javier Avalos' living room. And here is the audio right after he missed that kick. I'm sorry, guys. I have to give it to you in its full and entire thing, because if I didn't, you wouldn't feel the pain and passion that he has. Understand there are some curse words.
Missed it! Oh my God! He fucking missed it! You gotta be fucking kidding me! He fucking missed it! You gotta be fucking kidding me! Oh my God!
It's time to pray to the heavens, Michael. You're right.
Oh, Troy. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God!
So there you have it, guys. And the woman who is referring to this guy as Troy, that was actually her consoling Javier's new baby. His name is Troy, and telling him that it's going to be okay. Daddy's lost his freaking mind. Javier, we're sorry that the Minnesota Vikings had to lose in such a formidable fashion, but now at least you have your own Finkel to think about. So that's it. You Javier Avalos, you have just witnessed the Blair Miss Project.
The other funny thing I saw, I felt bad for Blair Walsh, but did you see the one that was the new Netflix series? What was it? To make a kick, to miss a kick instead of to make a murderer. Yeah,
that would be good. That's great.
That's harsh. Poor Blair Walsh.
We have from Austin, Texas. Shame, Javi. Poor Troy.
Well done.
So, okay, so one last game to talk about. We're not going to have enough time for Name That Year tonight. So let's go ahead and talk about Green Bay, Washington. Matt, go ahead and give us your little synopsis of the game while I let a pet out who's becoming a very annoying person.
Yeah, I think this went kind of exactly like me and you said this was going to go. We called this, and I was surprised that so many people were on the Washington bandwagon. Dude, who had the Washington Redskins played that were even decent? Yeah, they had a good home record against garbage teams. I'm still boggled by how people thought that the Washington Redskins were going to hang with the Green Bay Packers throughout this game. And then the same thing happened, right? A couple things. Well, the main thing that happened is this. Washington defense is good, but they're good against garbage teams. And Green Bay Packers just wore them down. That was it. They couldn't do anything against them. They couldn't, period. They just could not hang with the Green Bay Packers offense. And as the offense was out there longer, that team got gassed. That's the other thing that happened. I will, and you're going to probably bring this up. Well, tell me, Nash, what did you think of it? We called this game. You knew this was going to go like this. Yeah. So many people doubting them. It was unbelievable. You have Aaron Rodgers. I don't care what you want to say. And everyone likes to throw rocks at the king. It's like, hey, you have Aaron Rodgers. Oh, he's not as good. He is good. He proved. The one thing you'll know Rodgers is good is because of this. I watched some other quarterbacks, right? You watch that Minnesota game. Watch Teddy Bridgewater struggle to throw the ball down the field or make some plays. And you watch Cousins kind of do the same thing. I watch Rodgers run back and barely flip his arm, and it's a 40. I mean, the guy's got a rocket. Nobody can deny that. That guy has a rocket for an arm. He can barely flick the ball 40 yards down the field with ease. It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. And I heard this on the Sports Drive today with Frank and Sean. They made a really good point. Tell me what these quarterbacks have in common, aside from the fact they all lost today. Hoyer, Cousins, A.J. McCarron, Teddy Bridgewater. The answer to that is none of them have playoff experience at all. And that's one of the things when you're dealing with the playoff atmosphere and bringing your elevation of your game, the one place that needs to be the biggest elevated is the quarterback. Yeah, you got to bring something extra to those kinds of games. And those guys couldn't get it done, especially Hoyer. Teddy Bridgewater did the best he could in that cold, and I think he probably did the best out of all of them. A.J. McCarron looked scared and lost many a times, and rightfully so. I mean, that Pittsburgh defense was playing out of their mind and above their level. And then Kirk Cousins, you like that? Well, yeah, I like watching you in the first quarter when you had that intensity. But as time went on and the playoffs pushed on, you couldn't continue with that intensity for much longer. And that was your own undoing. You have to know how to work a playoff.
That and Clinton Dix.
Yes. Oh my God. I ran through the tape on this. Okay, guys. I will do this sometimes. I'll go to my NFL Game Pass and play through the things. Clinton Dix played out of his mind. Okay. Literally on 4 plays. Okay. I saw him literally run a 40 straight line, covering people in a straight line, run that 40, and he was doing it in 4.3, sometimes 4.4. He was oftentimes going as much as 21 to 21.33 miles per hour. As a free safety, because you have to tackle, that's unheard of. No, there isn't a free safety in the league, including Earl Thomas, I know Seahawks fans, you will disagree, who covers as much ground as Clinton Dix.
Had to. They're trotting out there too. I mean, one's a second year and one's a rookie. Unheard of corners because their corners are hurt.
Yeah, and he was playing out of his mind. I cannot see him playing as well against Arizona with all of their weapons, John Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, Carson Palmer. I think he's going to reach the end of his rope essentially, and it's all going to come crashing down around him. But I think that he was the difference maker, and he was by far the player of that game. He was making tackles where he shouldn't have been making tackles. He was covering people and breaking up plays, and just his presence was starting to spook Kirk Cousins as he would look at a player and then basically hold on to the ball because he didn't know what Clinton Dix was doing. And what was saying? He was saying, ha.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the NFL now. That's what happens. You've played a bunch of garbage teams, Kirk Cousins. That's it. So, and now it's going to be interesting to see what happens this next year with the Redskins. We'll get into that at a different time. But RG3's moving on. They're going to go with Cousins. Do they? I mean, they're sinking or swimming with this decision here.
Yeah. They completely sinking and swimming with both of these decisions. And the fact is that they had some immediate success, but now Kirk Cousins is playing this little thing in the contract, basically saying, he's not necessarily sure he wants to be in Washington. Guys, if this guy hits the free agent market,
brutal.
To keep him to not go into the free agent market, you might have to make him the highest paid player in the NFL. You really might. Even though he doesn't deserve it.
So brutal.
It might be the only way you guys keep him because you guys are dysfunctional.
Yeah, no, here's what happens. The Redskins start Colt McCoy next year.
Honestly, Colt McCoy isn't as bad as people give him.
He's not. Austin loves Colt McCoy, and he's not that bad. He came in and he was very, there are teams like Dallas and teams, around the league, probably the Rams, that wish they had Colt McCoy after trotting out some of the quarterbacks they did this year.
Yeah. And when you start looking at the free agent possibilities for Kirk Cousins, I mean, there's plenty of places that would love to have somebody of his caliber. And the fact is, his arm isn't terrible. It's not a great arm, but in his ability to make reads and play with receivers and play with defensive backs by looking people off is pretty damn good. He reminds me a lot of Stan Humphries of the Chargers way back in the day. Very, very similar style of looking at the defenses and the way he plays for it. And I think he's got a very bright future. And RG3 probably even has a brighter future away from Washington. I think Washington is a place where quarterbacks just go to die. And it's
going to be interesting this year with a couple really quarterback needy teams to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, I can honestly see Kirk Cousins possibly becoming a Texan.
I could see that. RG3, imagine him in the Rams.
That would be ironic, saying that the Rams gave up all those picks.
I know, right?
And
they
got all
back.
those picks from the Washington Redskins just
Jeff
to get them 4
Fisher
years
just
later.
laugh if that happens.
I think he might just do it just to troll the other team.
He really would. That would be like him.
It totally would. It's been a really good wild card weekend, and coming up next, we tomorrow night, guys, and you will need to stay tuned for this, as we are going to have Leon Searcy. Yes, the Leon Searcy, drafted 11th overall in 1992 by the Pittsburgh Steelers, a huge all-pro player who sat there and literally dominated the line for many good years. He's going to be on with us tomorrow for an interview, as well later on with another show, which we're not going to tease just yet, as it hasn't been fully announced, but he will be on with two of our separate shows. And tomorrow and Wednesday, we are going to have yet again another version of The War Room, but we're going to be going over all 4 games one more time. We'll be starting with the AFC, and that will probably be, the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow against. Say it.
Boom, boom, boom.
Say it. Who are they playing?
Keep it going. They're playing the New England Patriots. Let's go. You know what? Hey, you guys better be ready to deflate your balls, because we're coming.
And if you don't, the Kansas City Chiefs will help deflate your balls for you. But with that, I'm Nash.
I'm Matt.
And you have listened to NFL Talk. Have a nice night, and we'll see you again.
Okay, we're back. I had to surf porn and post my pics on an adult website.
Typically, guys, we have an outro. Something has happened to our outro tonight. So with that, we'll just go ahead and sign off and say see you later, and we will catch you again tomorrow.